worried about the resistance to the CR coming from within your conference? I mean, you can only afford to lose 4 votes, and then there's now 9 people saying no.
You can say that every single day. I am always cheerfully persistent. We're going to find a way to get through this. It's new ideas. We're going to bring new ideas up, and we're going to work until we get this done.
Are you willing to change?
We're not leaving this weekend. We're going to get through this.
That was the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, yesterday discussing whether the House will pass a short-term government spending bill to keep the government funded by September 30th. The Hill reporting that the continuing resolution is now facing opposition from 11 House Republicans. There are reportedly at least 5 House Republicans who are leaning toward voting against this bill. Joining me right now is Montana Congressman Matt Rosendale, who says he is voting against the continuing resolution. Congressman, thanks very much for being here this morning. What's wrong with this CR?
It's the same thing that's wrong with any CR, Maria. It extends the current spending levels with the same policies. These are spending levels that Nancy Pelosi established and policies that Joe Biden established. I voted against them for the last 2 years. Why in the world would I vote for it now? I made it clear 2 months ago here on this program with you that I wouldn't support a continuing resolution. We were told back in January, it's a new day in America, and Speaker McCarthy was going to finally help us to deliver the 12 appropriation bills to properly, responsibly, and transparently fund government. And there's no reason that we can't do that now, except they want to have additional spending in there that I was not sent here to Washington to perpetuate.
Well, why aren't these appropriations bills done at this point, number one, and you're willing to go to the mat here to accept the government shutdown?
Maria, why aren't these appropriation bills done yet? Okay, that's a question for Speaker McCarthy. Why don't you bring him in here with me and we can both debate that right now? We've had months to deliver these appropriation bills. This is a complete lack of leadership. Talking about going to the mat, you just had a speaker on from yesterday talking about how much of their businesses' revenue is going to be consumed by interest. Do you realize that 20% of the collections this year are going to be used to service the debt, the national debt, the interest on it right now? If we continue on this trajectory, which is about $2 trillion a year addition onto the national debt, within the next 8 to 10 years, 50%, Maria, of the collections from the federal government will be necessary in order to service the debt. We can't continue on that trajectory. So do we want to have an honest discussion right now about what to do about spending, or do we want to kick it down the road another couple of years so that the size of the problem is even worse? I want to have that conversation now. That's why I came here to Congress, to help fix this broken city, and unfortunately, I don't have leadership helping me at all.
But why would a government shutdown help?
Maria, we're going to have this discussion. First of all, you know that only 15% of the government gets shut down. Most everything is going to get paid. And even the part that does get shut down, those payments are merely deferred. They are not canceled. So let's be honest with each other, okay? We can't continue to pile an additional $2 trillion a year of debt onto the American people. They cannot afford to pay that.
There is some spending that needs to be in there, right? I'm talking about the essentials, which is largely the bulk of the budget. There's also defense. Are you willing to go on the record to say you are not going to vote for the defense bill, the Department of Defense appropriations? Why hasn't that come to the floor?
So that's a leadership question. They are the ones that make the decisions about what's going to come to the floor. What I will tell you is there was agreements that were made early on this year that we were going to keep non-defense discretionary spending levels at $1.471 trillion. And once we can see that leadership is going to help us to appropriate to those levels, you're going to have everybody hold hands and pass that legislation, Maria, the same as we did with 218 Republicans when we came together and passed the original debt ceiling package, okay? But when it came back after it was negotiated by Leader McCarthy and President Biden, that's when we lost. We lost 71 Republicans, and that piece of legislation got passed with 169 Democrats and 145 Republicans. Republicans. So who's actually running the show up here? That's what my question is. What I will tell you is 20% of our revenue is going to be necessary right now, this year, to pay the interest on the national debt. If we do not do something about this spending within the next 8 years, it will be consuming 50% of total revenue. What are we going to do then? Who are we going to raise the taxes on then? What's that going to do to the economy, Maria?
Well, look, you've said that there is still time to get these appropriations bills done. I mean, you've got 7 working days left before the government shuts down. Why not just vote for a continuing resolution for 30 days to get that more time to get those appropriations bills done in a 30-day period? Does that not work?
No, it does not work. Let's stay here. Let's stay here night and day. Maria, you and I both know when something needs to get done in this city, somehow it just happens to happen. So let's everybody stay here. We should have been here for the last 2 months working on these, but let's stay here and let's get the appropriation bills passed at the $1.471 trillion non-defense discretionary level so that we can send those over to the United States Senate. I will stay here and do my part. I don't just point fingers. I will participate in the process, but let's go ahead and get the process done.
Well, the speaker joined me on Sunday Morning Futures on Fox News, and he said nobody wins in a shutdown. Here's Kevin McCarthy with me Sunday in response. Watch.
I've been through shutdowns, and I've never seen somebody win a shutdown. Because when you shut down, you give all your power to the administration. But how are you going to win your arguments to secure the border if the border agents don't get paid? How are you going to win the arguments to get wokeism out of the Department of Defense if even our own troops won't be being paid? You have no strength there.
What about that, Congressman?
What about that? What about that? He's the one who's in charge, Maria. Nobody does win in a shutdown, and yet we find ourselves right here. And who is 100% responsible for that? Kevin McCarthy. Let's not make any mistake about it. We've had months to get these appropriation bills done, and he has not done his part. The members, we're willing. We're ready, able, and willing to sit here and do the work that's necessary. Let's have a conversation about reducing those spending levels down to $1.471 trillion so that we can just change the trajectory. Maria, that's all it is. It's not going to get us a balanced budget. We need to change the trajectory, and then that will be beneficial not only for the government, for the American people, but for the markets as well.
You know, months ago, I predicted that this would happen when we were watching 15 rounds of Kevin McCarthy and his effort to become Speaker. And here we are. You and your colleagues have had all of this time to work on these appropriations bills. I ask you one last time, why aren't they done?
Maria, and I will tell you one last time, you're right. Where's Leader McCarthy? He's the one who directs the work and the committees and allows them to get their work done. Where is he? He's MIA. And you're right. No one wins in a shutdown. Why hasn't he done his job?
Real quick, just walk us through the next steps, Congressman. Do you expect a vote on Thursday? Are you willing to be participating in a potential vote on Thursday to show that you are voting against this? Are you going to say no to funding the military?
Oh, Maria, I will vote no on a CR. Again, I will not vote to extend Nancy Pelosi's spending levels and Joe Biden's policies. I've said that for several months now. This has not been a secret. I'm not going to vote for CR, and I think that you're going to see that they're approaching right now close to 24 people that are not going to vote for that CR. So my guess is that it won't be brought to the floor.
All right, Congressman, we'll be watching. Thanks very much for weighing in on all of this.
Thanks, Maria.
Of course, we're all focused and watching it closely. Matt Rosendale, good to see you. Thank you, sir. We'll be right back.